So welcome to my 8th class. This is the 8th chapter where we'll be using variables. So here this thing gets tricky here. Okay, now here from here what you will be having is a programming kind of thing. Okay, so you'll program. Let's see how big this is. So this will be LAN. Oh no, we'll be using this. Okay, so this was good. Actually, this this handout is good. You can view my recording and simultaneously you can use this handout, so you will get some professional level of understanding of my of this notes. Actually, this is the professional notes. Okay, this is good. And okay, so we'll use this variables here. Okay, now okay, let's try to use this. Okay, now this is the 8th class and we'll just use, alright, we'll just copy and paste here. We'll run one after the other because this database doesn't work for completely. Let's see if it works. This should work. This takes, this thing gets more complex here. What you're trying to do here is variables. So variables, right? Variables and constants, as we learned in some 5th grade or 3rd grade. Okay, variables is something which contains, let's say you're using some variable A, okay, A, and you're putting some values inside A and you're manipulating and values and changing its values, incrementing its values and so on. Okay, so you can do so many things with that variable. So okay, so what you're trying to use, you are using variable var underscore string, and that is equal to my underscore var. Why this guy has to use that? So never mind. So we'll use this one. I can use anything, it's not like specific. Okay, this is too bad. Okay, so now what happened is set. I'm not using here database, any database here. Okay, I'm sorry, we are using database but we are not using any table. Database is Udemy. That's just sorry, you can always get confused, tables and database. Okay, so we are not using any tables here, tables, views, we are not using that here. What we are trying to use is programming in SQL. Okay, without this tables and all those stuff, we are trying to program it. Okay, first query works, and let's try our second query. This should also work. So what we are trying to do here is we are creating 3 variables and assigning those values for that variables. That's what's supposed to be. Okay, great. The 3rd code is will set up here. Okay, no errors, so far so good. We'll save this. Okay, for your notes we'll save this in what, lecture 8. This was on lecture 8, right? We are going through chapters, so that's the reason. Variables, variables dot SQL. We'll just put it as SQL. You save it. Alright, this. So what we did was we created a number of variables, and we have inserted that variables with a string. Now string means the anything, the character, which is number means it's just number, date means it's just date, so we know, so that makes sense. Okay, now what you'll do is, now you want to select at var. We'll see what does this thing do. Select, is that query again? At var. Let's see here what it does. Ooh, it's it does executed that query and showing as null. How interesting. But it's supposed to show you these three values, right? No, it's not supposed to show that. We will try we'll try this this thing actually. Null. It's whatever it's showing is showing as null. So oh, we didn't use this. We are supposed to use this. So we try to use this and see what happens. Okay. Select at where okay, there's 1, 2, 3. What happened is so instead of set you're using equal to. Okay, so that's what, right? This is not the comparison, this is a set. Okay, so that's what it is. So you can do this for, oh wow, this is a big here. So we'll get deep into this actually. Guess what, we'll just try to use this all these queries here actually. This will work, hopefully. It's supposed to work. It doesn't require admin access, so we don't require SQL. Here in put this in run. Okay, so it just set that value into that particular variable. So those are variables, so we are declaring this at end date. No, remember all this we are trying to, what we are trying to do here is we are creating a variables here. Okay, again get through this one. Now we are going to deep. This is partition by, and that gets more complex. I hope this too works. And click on this and execute this. So what you are trying to do here is we are trying to assign variables to each and every variable. So you remember these are all variables. Wherever you are using at end underscore year month, that's a variable name. Okay, and this is what you are trying to insert it. So we'll try to understand this later actually. First we'll execute it. And okay, so that worked good. Let's go to the next one. Oh, wow, now this is very interesting. Now what you're trying to use this query actually, use this query and see what happens. We are partitioning this, partitioning, right? Partitioning means separating that table. So we are this is much more complex to explain right now at this point of time, but we will see this got right run out there. This query doesn't look unexpected according to us. Ta-da! This doesn't work. Okay. That's a problem when you try to do this. This thing is giving error. So it's unexpected ordering of classes. So I don't think there is a problem here. We are trying to concatenate and with the partition name from Why not? Okay, there's a table name, right? Yeah, connection. The table name. So table name should also be good. So, okay, no, I just commented my code so that you know. But thing is, this query should work. Yeah, this query did work. Where's the result? Okay, the result is shown up. Alright. The question is here the you need this partitions. We have partitions. So why does it just not showing? Partitions. You're supposed to show this. It's not supposed to show any error. But let's execute it. Oh, it worked. Ooh. So this error was nothing. This is a warning, not an error, but it worked. The query worked. So, alright. So this is good query. Alright. So we just use this one. Okay. So we save this as partitioning of our. So we will try to go this in detail actually. Partition.sql. Alright. Where did I say this? Okay, good. Now we try to get this here. What we are trying to do here, your group concat is actually a table here, supposed to be, right? No. Okay. Partition name, where you're trying to partition from the table name, which is information underscore and the partition. This is the partition. We are trying to access this table. What information do you have in this table? We don't know. So that's the reason we are trying to find out. Where table name is partition underscore table. Okay. Where table name is partition underscore table. Wow. So this is a string, by the way. We're giving us some string here. Table name is string. And substring. We are going to substring. We don't even know the concepts of strings and substring. Okay. So here index partition name we are putting here. So and we start here. Remember we use these variables. We added some variables into this, right? So the same thing we are putting into that partition. So if you go ahead and see the partitions, so you will have some values out there. Okay, so before also it used to have values, but here what we just did this for partitioning. Okay, so this is pretty complex. You want to see this partitioning. Before running this partitioning, you want to assign variables just like this. You're setting up some variables and then put the partitions into that variable. Okay, why are we doing this? That's a very good question. So this is required for admin level for partitioning of your database. Okay, not just database, tables. I'm sorry, just keep telling this database. I don't know why. Okay, so we are trying to partitioning, we can partition table actually, because that's what we are trying to do. So we are separating this table with another table. From start date to the year date, we are trying to separate this into partitioning and putting that values in this partition. That's what we are doing. Again, why are we doing this? For there is a reason for this, because if you are admin and you want to do a lot of things out there, I'm not an admin, so I'm not going deep into that. We are just touch basing that. We are just touch base on that, but we don't want to go more detail because admin has other jobs to run, other things to do. So that's the reason they do it for these partitions, for the user creations and assigning the user specific tables, specific schema, specific access to the specific tables and all those things. So that's the reason you need these partitions. Okay, that's why we did all this complex thing. It's pretty complex. Okay, great. Alright, let's do this. You do this because MySQL recognize my variable as okay. So let's do this then. So here I'm just using copy paste because we are assigned something, I don't think this will work, but no, we will try it. We'll try and see what happens. Oh, it worked. Wow, how interesting. But it didn't show any record. See, what happening here is, see, the records, you're not showing any records here. No, you got the point here, right? You're not getting any records. What's happening in the back end is it's trying to partition the table at the back end, right? It's trying to, you're assigning this thing, and I don't know, I'm not exactly sure how to view that it is partitioned or not, but you're trying to do that at the back end here in this table. So you're trying to manipulate these tables. That's what, right? See here. For partition table, partitions, and okay, so we use this schema to do this, manipulate all this, but we, this is pretty complex actually. This is not this is something which is, we are not actually we don't get any records here, anything as such, but it's happening at the back end process. It's a back end, we'll have this. So. Okay, so let's see here. I'm just putting this for your convenience. This is how interesting. I've not used this query. I've never used this query in my life, so I don't even know. Okay. Select statement from query. That's good because I'm not sure what I'm trying to do actually here. So prepare, we know drop, we can drop the table if it exists, so that means we can delete it. Execute stmt. Stmt is okay, again this guy this is a variable, okay, and we are trying to use this from that variable to, no, variables always used by at, right? Okay, no. We're supposed to explain this union all actually. Unfortunately, this guy has no. We'll try to do this. No, we don't have this table created, right? So that's the problem. We only have this. Let's say we have this table team underscore. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and create like we did for the car table, right? You can do that for this team underscore person. Okay, you can take it as a homework. Take it as homework because I have to go to the first class and show you how to create table and how to insert records in it. So I'll not show you, here. So you want to take it as a homework and you want to do it yourself. Then what you can do is you can do union all on that. Union all is like this. Oh shoot, my lecture 6 actually. Fifth lecture actually. Yeah. Union all is is something like this. You get all the records. Union is like this, but union all means you get all this records. Okay, so that's what it is. Okay, so this is something which you need to do. Okay, you can do it yourself. Create a table called team underscore person. Okay, and insert these records. Remember we did. Okay, we have supposed to have this. At least we can go ahead and I didn't save this. So I didn't save that SQL. Okay, too bad. Oh, this should be one. Not sure what it's okay. Okay, so we started only recently, right? Okay, so we want to go to that and insert the records, and you can see the previous slides, so you can insert it and get the union all. Okay, so so we'll skip all this, and row number. Oh yeah, that's very interesting actually. So here you want to use this RowNUM option, and and also get this. Okay, want to get this as let's try to see this. Alright, guess what, we'll use this row number, we are using this. Guess what, let's try this actually, but we are not trying with this table, but we are trying this car table, remember? Okay, now let's find out what is our car table. So let's start from car and see what is this all about. And you have this 4 records, right? Now we just use this one. Alright, now t dot name, wherever it's team, we'll just put as name actually, and that person we'll put as car, price. Oh, 3, we have 3 counters too. Team, we replace team with what name, and person with price. Now let's find out if this works. Oh, we have access problem. We have access problem here. So, find one. So yeah, it's better to download, and get this, because of this access issues. You're not able to run this SQL. But yeah, once you get this, you can try it. This should work actually. Alright. So this is pretty much for this 8. Now do this for your homework. Okay, so use this handout. Okay, create a table. You know how to create a table. Insert these values: John, Smith, Walter, Louis, Elizabeth, Wayne, with team A, team, okay, row number, and try this. We did this before, remember, for the car. Okay, and you just need to do for this. We did this for the car, and you just need to do for this, and you should be good. Okay, so that's pretty much for the 8th chapter. We will continue with the 9th chapter, the 9th class. Okay, yeah, thanks.